This is my Q&A for this week. Before I get into it, anyone that wants to send any questions in to me for my next Q&A, just send them through a comment on my channel or through a message by messaging me. First question is from 605506. I know the Undertaker doesn't need a world title to make himself look dominant, but do you think the La-Famila and Undertaker feud has been going on too long? I think it should have ended at Backlash. Plus, the WWE promised the Undertaker one last world title reign. As far as the La-Famila and Undertaker feud, I don't think it's been going on too long. Obviously, it was ended for a little time being at One Night Stand at Edge defeating the Undertaker, but obviously Undertaker is going to be returning probably sometime soon. I'm expecting sometime after SummerSlam, possibly the Unforgiven pay-per-view, if not a little before then. But I don't think the feud has been going on too long. I think there's been things in it that's kind of hurt the feud a little bit. Most in particular, the match at Judgment Day with obviously the build-up was Undertaker was stripped of the world title, and this just led up to the TLC match, which they did the stripping of the title angle for the most part to have people have interest in the SmackDown brand, and plus they didn't have that much time to build up another match after Judgment Day, and they wanted to end the feud there. And even WWE thought that, if they would have kept on continuing with this, that the feud would have lost steam very soon, if not before SummerSlam. So, obviously, it's pretty bad when WWE thinks a feud, when a wrestling company thinks the feud has been drawn out a little bit. And Undertaker obviously needed a little time off to recuperate from injuries. So, obviously, when he returns, obviously it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Undertaker and Edge feud. I'm thinking, for the most part, you're probably going to see at least 2 more matches. I'm hoping they don't drag it out too long. I think 2 matches could do it perfect. One, return match with Undertaker getting a huge pop and getting a win by, I guess, defeating Edge if Edge is champion. And then just have the match end at, I guess, either No Mercy or Survivor Series and a Hell in a Cell. Then, for the most part, them two wouldn't cross paths for a little while, because if they keep doing it too much, it's going to be like the Undertaker and Batista feud, where people are going to get sick of seeing it. So it's one of those things that was really, and a lot of people probably felt it should have ended at Backlash due to the fact that it was built up for since May with Undertaker losing to Edge when Edge cashed his Money in the Bank. Then they did the whole La-Famila thing after it. So I can see why some people thought that WWE should have probably ended it a little while ago, but for the time being, it's ended, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see where it goes when Undertaker returns. Next question is from JHelp, and he asked my thoughts on a couple wrestlers. I'll name the wrestlers, then give my thoughts. Chris Hero, Owen Hart, Tyler Black, Marufuji, and Kenta. First off, with Chris Hero is a tremendous talent. I'm not going to say he's, as far as a he's not a gifted technical wrestler, but he's one of those wrestlers that's pretty hateable, and he does a great job with it, as far as either he's playing the comical role in Ring of Honor, or just the serious heel. He does a good job with it. He's pretty much a good, decent all-around wrestler, but I can't see him as a world champion. Possibly in some other indie companies, PWG, I could possibly see him as world champion. I don't even know that. I don't know if PWG would even have him be world champion. And then obviously, I can't see him being Ring of Honor champion, because they got a few people I think that deserve it a whole lot more than Chris Hero, at least at this point. Unless they actually need a strong heel as champion, and Chris Hero would be very hateable as a Ring of Honor champion. As far as Owen Hart is one of those talents that's going to be on that list all the time of the should-have-been World Heavyweight Champion. There's a lot of people that should have been, but he was definitely high on the list. A great wrestler, and WWE pretty much didn't really use him that good for the most part. When they did the Owen Hart versus Bret Hart feud, they were showcasing him well there, and he did good in there, but after that, they didn't do that much with him, other than, somewhat being in the mid-card and not really being able to break through the glass ceiling in WWE, which is unfortunate because he was a great wrestler. But, there's a lot of wrestlers that never became world champion that should have been, like the Kurt Hennings, the Rick Rudes, and the British Bulldog. So there's a lot of people on that list that should have been world champion. But Owen Hart was a great wrestler. And as far as Tyler Black is probably one of the most impressive young wrestlers right now. Definitely is one of the top wrestlers on the indie scene right now, and it's pretty much loved by a lot of people. And he's definitely a great wrestler. Before some of his matches this year, I was like, could he be believable if he was going for the world title, or even could he possibly be a future world champion? And obviously, his matches with Bryan Danielson this year, and most in particular, his match with Nigel McGuinness from the Take No Prisoners pay-per-view definitely proved that he could be believable in the ring with those guys and could possibly be a future world champion. As far as Marufuji is a tremendous talent. Actually, I would say, a lot of people probably would say either Kenta or Sima's their favorite wrestler from Japan, but as far as my favorite wrestler from Japan, it's probably a tie between Marufuji and Tanahashi. They're probably my top favorites. Marufuji is a tremendous talent. Anyone that pretty much the first time I saw Kenta and Marufuji was when they were at Ring of Honor first for the Final Battle 2005 DVD, and definitely that was a great DVD. For the most part, when I first saw Marufuji, obviously he was pretty much overshadowed that night with the Low-Ki versus Kenta match, but still he looked like he was very good. Then I followed Noah a lot in 2006, which pretty much was the year that I really got into Noah a whole lot. So anyone that hasn't seen Kenta versus Marufuji from October 2006, which I would consider probably my favorite match of 2006, and an incredible match between the two. Definitely them two work good together as a tag team as well. Both of them are just tremendous talents, and obviously we'll like to see them more used in Ring of Honor, but obviously they got their obligations with Pro Wrestling Noah. Next question comes from ChildOfHorn. Do you feel that Kane would benefit from a extended time off? No matter how much he jobs nowadays, he still gets great reaction from the crowd. The problem being his in-ring skills are deteriorating. Is this just from excessive injuries that could be corrected with time off, or is this just his default stage now? Obviously, if I answered this before Raw Monday, I would probably say, yeah, this is his default stage right now, and I can't really see that much in him. But, WWE could possibly be doing something great with his career, or at least trying to do something great with his career with this whole, is he dead or is he alive? Obviously, it's gaining a lot of interest with fans, and they're wondering, what are they going to do with this? So it could possibly help Kane's career out if they do it. If they do it into something great, it's going to help his career out. Or it's going to be one of those things that's going to fall flat, and it's going to not even, it's probably going to do more than hurt his career if it's something idiotic. Hopefully it's something good, like possibly, some people are speculating, it could be the return of Paul Bearer, or, it could be, Kane was the person that, caused the Vince McMahon accident where Vince McMahon is supposedly not be able to walk anymore. Or, there could be other things. So I've heard some people think it could possibly be, remember WWE did that whole probably very forgettable angle when they did the Kane versus fake Kane angle. Possibly it could be that, or, there could be something idiotic, which, when I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking the WWE is going to fuck this up and it's not going to be anything good. So I just had to think of what would be the dumbest thing that WWE could do and, really hurt this, It would be probably, a lot of people had said the Hornswoggle as Vince's kid was bad, but this would even be worse if they would go this route. And I'm thinking it could possibly be the returning of Boogeyman. Hopefully it's not that and it's actually something good. Can't see it being anything else. I think those are the main things it could be, but WWE could possibly throw a curveball and make it be something else that we're not even thinking it could be. I don't think it could be Undertaker because Undertaker just got banished from WWE. It's not like he died or something. It wasn't like, they had him end in a buried alive match or something like that, the way they did with Paul Bearer. So, but, it's just going to be interesting to see what they do with that.